was the only one suited for the job, and when he finished it, all the people would be able to return to Earth. That someone's name was Wally, which stood for Waste Allocation Load Lifter Earth Class. Wally was a trash compacting unit whose job was to clean up the polluted planet. He made the most of it by finding treasures in the trash every day. Wally liked his job, but he was very lonely. On his way home, Wally and his pet cockroach always passed the holographic billboard that played by and large commercials. P&L was the superstore that had controlled the entire planet. Centuries earlier, it had made these ads to invite humans to space for vacation-like cruises. The head of P&L had promised to clean up Earth while the people were away. Every night, as Wally settled into the trailer he called home, he put away the treasures he had found during the day. He also turned on a video of the movie Hello, Dolly. Wally hoped he might one day fall in love with someone just like the people in the movie. Then he wouldn't be lonely anymore. One day, something different happened, and it changed Wally's life forever. It all started when Wally found a new kind of treasure that he had never seen before. It was thin and green and very delicate. Ooh, Wally was filled with wonder. He lifted his beautiful treasure and placed it in an old boot. Later that evening, Wally heard a loud, roaring sound coming from the sky. A probe ship landed in a fiery blaze, stirring up a dust storm. Out floated a sleek white robot with bright blue eyes. Wally fell in love instantly. Wally could tell the robot was looking for something. When she seemed to give up, he slowly approached and showed her how he compacted trash. She said her job was a secret, but she told Wally her name. Eva, he repeated, mispronouncing it. Wally took Eve to his home. He wanted to show her everything. He turned on his video of Hello, Dolly and danced for Eve as the music in the movie played. He even tried to hold her hand like the people in the movie, but Eve didn't understand. Wally showed Eve the little green thing in the root boot. That was when something strange happened. Eve zeroed in on the green thing, snatched it away, and locked it inside her. Then she shut down completely. Her only sign of life was a flashing green light on her chest. Eva, Wally tapped her timidly. Eve didn't answer or move. It was as if she was asleep. Wally tried everything to wake her up, but it was no use. Then one day the probe ship returned to pick up Eve. Eva, Wally cried frantically. He raced to the ship that held Eve inside. Then he grabbed on tight as it blasted into space. Space was full of wonders. As Eve slept inside the ship, Wally got a view of Earth that he had never seen before. The stars were beautiful. Wally wished Eve could share the sights that swept by him. At least he was near her and could keep following her wherever she was going. Finally, the probe ship reached its destination. Ooh, Wally stared in awe at the massive spaceship in front of him. It was the Axiom, one of the many luxury starliners in the P&L fleet. The Axiom housed a whole city full of humans. The people had grown very lazy during their centuries in space. Robots did everything for them. Soon, Wally and Eve were inside the Axiom's docking bay. The captain's robot assistant Gopher quickly whisked Eve away. Wally took off after them, eager to catch up with Eve. Then a cleaner bot named M.O. joined the chase, determined to give dusty, rusty Wally a good scrubbing. Wally followed Eve to the Axiom's control room. He hid as the captain and his robot, Autopilot Otto, entered. Send her to the repair ward, the captain ordered, pointing to Eve and sighing with disappointment. Then he spotted Wally. The little bot rolled up to the captain and happily shook his head. And fix that robot as well. Have it hosed down or something. It's filthy. Otto ordered Gopher to take Eve and Wally away. The little cleaner bot M.O. suddenly appeared and followed, still obsessed with scrubbing Wally and his dirty trail. Broken reject bots filled Axiom's robot repair ward, but when Wally saw Eve's blaster arm being removed, he thought she was being hurt. He grabbed the arm and accidentally blasted a control panel. The doors opened and the reject bots were free. They carried their new hero Wally out into the hallway. Suddenly, steward bots blocked their escape route. Wally and Eve were on the run. Eve rushed Wally to a life pod. She wanted to send him back to Earth. Then he would be safe and she could finish her mission. But Wally wouldn't leave without her. Before they could argue, someone approached. Hiding, Wally and Eve watched as Gopher appeared and put something into the life pod. It was the plant. Wally scooted into the pod to get the plant back just as Gopher activated the launch sequence. Whoosh! Eve raced into space to help Wally. Eee! Wally screamed, trying to work the pod's controls. He accidentally pushed the self-destruct button. Wally! Eve cried as the pod exploded. Wally rocketed toward her with a fire extinguisher. He had escaped with the plant. Delighted, Eve twirled closer to Wally. An electric arc passed between their heads. It was a robot kiss. Back inside the ship, Eve told Wally to wait for her while she delivered the plant to the captain. Overjoyed, the captain held the plant as he watched the holographic images Eve had recorded on Earth. If that plant could survive on Earth, then so could people. Eve watched the holographic images too, but she saw something different. She saw how Wally had tenderly cared for her while she was shut down, and she finally understood love. The captain ordered Otto to set a course for Earth, but Otto refused. He knew that long ago B&L had given up on Earth. They believed it was too polluted and would never sustain life again. Gopher grabbed the plant, and threw it over to the trash chute. Down it went, then it came back up. Wally had caught the plant and climbed up the chute. The captain was thrilled until Otto zapped Wally. Then both Wally and Eve were dropped into the trash chute. Wally and Eve tumbled down into the garbage bay. M.O. tumbled down after them, still determined to clean Wally. Eve desperately wanted to repair her damaged friend, but she needed parts from Earth. Now Eve had to get the Axiom back to Earth so that she could see Wally. She blasted a hole for them to escape through. Then she flew Wally and M.O. up and out of the garbage bay. When Eve and Wally arrived at the bridge, the steward bots tried to stop them. Luckily, the reject bots began to pour into the hall to help their hero Wally. While the rejects bravely battled the stewards, Eve flew the injured Wally toward a special machine called the Hollow Detector. The captain, who had locked his cabin by Otto, decided it was time to take action. He tricked Otto into thinking that he had the plant. "Ha! Look what I've got, Otto," the captain taunted. Otto lowered himself to the captain's quarters to get the plant. That was when the captain tackled him. The two battled their way back to the control room. The captain pushed Otto aside and activated the hollow detector. Now Eve could place the plant inside the machine and finish her mission. As soon as she saw the hollow detector, Eve raced toward it with the plant. But back on the bridge, Otto tried to lower the hollow detector. Using the last bit of energy he had while he held the machine up. Finally, the captain stood. He flicked off Otto's power. "You are relieved off duty," the captain said. Eve placed the plant in the hollow detector. The computer scanned it and announced, "Plant origin verified. Set course for Earth. The Axiom and its passengers could go home." Eve had completed her mission. The hollow detector rose off Wally. He fell to the floor, crushed and broken. "Wally!" Eve held him close, but his power light dimmed. Eve called his name again. Wally didn't answer. Eve knew she needed to take Wally back to his trailer to repair him, but would they get there in time? Soon the Axiom landed on Earth. The passengers watched as the captain ventured out alone and knelt down in the dirt. He dug a hole and placed a plant in the ground. Meanwhile, Eve raced the gravely damaged Wally to his trailer. The concerned cockroach hopped on board for the ride. The reject bots and Wally's pet cockroach looked on with worry as Eve scrambled to repair Wally. When she was done, Eve blasted a hole in the roof. Sunlight poured in to recharge Wally. Would he be okay? Wally woke up. He rolled right past Eve, past his cockroach, and past the reject bots. He had a job to do. Compact trash. He was alive, but something was wrong. He was not the same Wally. He no longer had feelings. Eve was heartbroken. What could she do? Eve reached out, and a spark of energy, a robot kiss, passed between them as she grasped his hand. Eva! Wally's eyes began to light up and focus, and the worst thing he saw was Eve. Back to his old self again, Wally realized that his greatest dream had come true. He was holding hands with Eve, and he and Eve would be together forever. Eve and Wally looked out over the calm, quiet Earth. There was still a lot of work to do to clean up the planet, but Earth and her people were going to be okay, and it was all because of one little robot with a great big heart. Thank you for listening.